how to not give up on The Witcher 3. So I was looking at the trophies for the PS4. I originally started playing The Witcher 3 on the PC, and I'm still covering it, so I'm playing it on the PS4 now. And I never really looked at the Steam trophies, but the PS4 trophies say that the Witcher 3 only 0.1% have have platinumed it, which is really hard, to be honest. And only 25% have beat it on any difficulty level, and less than 5% have beat it on the top 2 difficulty levels, right? So that tells me that The Witcher 3 is a frustrating game. It is a long game, and I'm going to go through some basic mechanics of this game. So I'm going to go through your inventory panel. So let's look at it right now. So it's overwhelming. It looks like it's too much and everything. So over here you got your swords, you got your armor. These are all the things that are equipped, and your saddlebag, saddle, blinders. You got your pockets, which you want to put food and potions in, and then you got other pockets that are for bombs and torches, right? And then you got your crossbow and the crossbow bolts that you're using. You got steel, silver, sword. So most of the items you want to get rid of in the armor and weapons tab. So you get it should be no secret, but you should loot everything in The Witcher 3. Unless there's a guard standing right on top of you, you should loot everything and then sell most of it. If it's an interesting item or an item you think you'll use later, say like this shirt here, because you use shirts to craft armor sets, then I would put it in your stash until you need it. So I'll go. So if we look at the map, right, there's stashes all over the map. This is the stash here in Novigrad. Dandelion's his pub. But there's other stashes. There's one in White Orchard. Right, and that's at the pub. They're typically at pubs. There's one in Ciri's room in the Crow's Perch in Velen. There's a stash there. I like the Novigrad stash or the one in White Orchard because they're relatively easy to get to. The Crow's Perch is a little harder to get to. So that's the Velen stash. But there's one in each region for you to stash it. Stuff you want to keep, but you just don't want to carry, right? If you're not going to use it, don't carry it. So let's go back to the inventory tab, right? So these are kind of, you only need one good steel sword and one silver sword. I carry 2, but these are pretty obsolete, and I probably could just stash those, right? Because I'd enchanted them, and so they're 3 slotted, so they're kind of nice. And I think I'd just keep them for sentimental value. Probably won't ever sell them. These ones like the Emmentaler. And then this mace and this rusty sword and this heavy mace. All this stuff is junk weapons that I got from killing essentially bandits, but this is in the Whoreson Jr. quest line. So basically junk you get from killing men. You want to sell most of that. You want to sell most of the armor that you get. Now, I have 2 really good armor sets, and you can see that I enchanted them with levity, so they're really good. Level 11, level 10 armor sets. One is the Nilfgaardian armor set, which he's wearing right now, which is better for people, and the Griffin armor set, which is better for monsters, right? So I switch between those if I'm fighting monsters or men. And you can switch armor at any point in the game. You just go to your inventory panel, and that pauses the game for you, right? That pauses the fight. Another good thing to do while you're pausing fights is to add the correct oil, right? So if I'm fighting men, I want to apply some more hangman venom, right? If I'm applying beast, I want to put on some beast oil. You know, if I'm fighting drowners, and I want to put on some necrophage oil. And I want to go to my inventory panel as soon as I see this fight starting and apply those. I may also want to put on a potion, right? A potion I like to use is Thunderbolt, and you can do that, and you get all day in the world. The other thing is you can switch out your bombs. Say you've used all your bombs and you want to switch to a different bomb. Maybe you see a specter, then you can switch to a moon dust bomb. You have all the time in the world to do that once you're in your inventory panel. So in terms of managing your inventory, you want to sell almost everything. So I said I'd store, you know, when the Griffin armor is upgradable, but the Nilfgaardian armor isn't, so I'd probably store that just for sentimental reasons when it got obsolete. You don't want to really sell any food. I've been farming cows, so I've been selling cow milk and occasionally selling raw meat. So I have thousands and thousands of food items already, so I'll never eat all that. But you'd be surprised, if you're not in the thousands, you probably shouldn't sell any food, because food adds no weight. None of your alchemy or crafting items add weight. But this panel here, so the quest items you can't sell, don't want to sell those anyways. Orange Florence you want to convert at Vimy Vivaldi's in Novigrad's main square. But these other things like deer hides, platters, kingfisher in Hierarch Square in Novigrad. Let's see. So if we go to the world map, right here, see this notice board here? That's the kingfisher. They're going to have the most coin. They're going to regenerate their coin. You can go to Novigrad as soon as you start your Velen quest line. So as soon as you meet the Emperor, right after that, you open up the Velen map, you run over to Novigrad, and you should do almost all your business in Hierarch Square. Get that fast travel and do most of your business there. By St. Gregory's Bridge here, this is the Passiflora. They also regenerate a lot of coin. So sell your junk items to the Passiflora and the Kingfisher here, and you'll do really well. So the junk items are the fourth panel in that inventory, right over here. And they really just add to your weight and, you know, waste your time. This is also where if you're farming hides, right, cow hides, then you're going to find that here, right? So there's stuff you can't use, right? Dismantling it, sometimes you want to dismantle stuff if you know that you're going to craft it, but most of the time you just want to sell all of it. You can sell the rings to the armory to get a pretty good price in Novigrad Square, but the hides and the other junk items, you get the best prices from the Novigrad pubs if you're kind of early in the game, and maybe the Skellige pubs when you get a little later in the game. And then if you get really late, of course, you don't need my help. If you're in Blood and Wine, you want to sell it in Blood and Wine. So let's see. And then the last tab is the Crafting Alchemy tab. You don't really need to worry much about this tab at all. The key thing is that you probably don't want to sell these items because they don't add to your weight. Let's go to Alchemy. Okay, so with Alchemy, once you craft a potion or bomb, you will have it in your inventory forever. Okay, so I have the cockatrice, all the things needed to brew the cockatrice decoction. So I can, as soon as you get all the ingredients or the crafting diagram, you can craft it, and it's going to be in your inventory, and every time you meditate, you're going to have it forever, right? So it's good to look in this panel for like things that you're missing, right? So I need a cockatrice stomach, right, to get enhanced draconite oil. Now I haven't got that because I know there's a cockatrice, but it's a pretty high level cockatrice. To get enhanced hybrid oil, I look here, I need an Irinia eye. I haven't seen any Irinia yet. I know there's some in Act 2, but I'm not sure where one is in Act 1. So I have to find one of those. And I need another Irinia eye to get superior. So you really want to move up the potion train. Whenever you see a herbalist or an alchemist selling a potion, if you're not hard up for money, you should buy it. But you'll also get a lot of it by looting in the world. So one quest in particular that you should just look at is this secondary quest. Oh, well, it's not going to be under there. It's going to be completed. So the secondary quest with wandering in the... You do not want to go straight to the objectives. You want to wander around and loot everything. Because in that quest, you will get so many alchemy crafting diagrams. And once you get an alchemy crafting diagram, right? So say I just looted an alchemy crafting diagram. I hit the panel, go to alchemy, check it out, see if I can craft it. If I'm mid-mission and I'm missing a few ingredients, then I'll go to an herbalist such as Tamira in White Orchard. Right, so we'll see if we can bring up White Orchard. Right, you should have met Tamira. She's got her little hut right here, and she's got a ton of stuff. But whatever herbalist that you've opened up, you can go to. Kira, while she's still playing with you, you should buy all her alchemy crafting diagrams. But you'll find a lot just while you're looting, and you can craft that alchemy immediately after you have the diagram if you have the ingredients, right? So, and if they're just common ingredients, say not monster parts or not a mutagen, then you can go buy those from an alchemist or an herbalist. So, but money really helps in this game. I originally thought that you would get money from Witcher contracts, and that is not the case. You get money from looting and also glitching. And they're two big kind of exploits, money exploits within The Witcher 3 early on. They're the best one is going to the Martin Fuel farmstead here, and up here there's a field, and it'll be empty when you go to it. If you meditate for an hour or any length of time, then it'll be full of cows. You igni the cows until they're all dead. Keep on doing that until they're all dead. Then meditate, igni them till they're dead. Meditate, igni them till they're dead. Loot all that until your inventory is full, and then you've got you'll probably get several thousand crowns when you go back to the Kingfisher in Novigrad, right here, right by the notice board. And then you can also go to the Passiflora, and they'll also buy that. And if they run out, meditate for 5 days, and they'll have some more coin. So, you know, really, in terms of only I would focus on, you know, if you get a 3-slotted sword, 2-slotted sword, maybe a 1-slotted sword early on. Early on, you want to use the Viper swords. If you can, you want to do that quest before you complete White Orchard, and if you've completed White Orchard, go ahead and do that quest anyways. So it's Viper School Quest is what it is. And, you know, it's going to be Scavenger Hunt Viper School, right? These are called scavenger hunts for these Witcher School quests, right? So I'll just show you where you find the diagram. So you find, I think, the silver sword right there. and then the steel sword is going to be with some bandits right here, and there's kind of tricky to run up. You want to kind of run up from this side, I think, and you'll get the diagram. And those are kind of the first things you want to craft. Those are swords. Also, once you get to level 4, then you can upgrade your silver to a sword called the Moonblade, which you'll find right here. And that'll probably carry you for a while. You get to level 4, you should also buy the armor set sold by the merchant in the Wosung Bridge in White Orchard. And that's the guy that was attacked by this guy right here. That was the guy that was attacked by the Griffin, and hopefully you didn't ask him for money, because he'll be nicer to you if you don't ask him for money, because he doesn't give you much money anyways. But it doesn't matter. He'll sell the Temerian armor set, which is a light armor set. Alright, so key thing, sell your junk, sell the stuff you're not going to use, stash the stuff that you are going to use, craft as much alchemy as you can to refresh your alchemy, meditate, right? So meditate, and you'll hear your alchemy. Okay, so I only like to play during the daytime, so I just meditate during the day, but you saw all my alchemy items were updated. And rarely will you find a place where you have an interrupted meditation. Let me go back to inventory. Okay. Yeah, and there's in your crafting panel you can see what you need too. Generally, you only want to craft the Witcher school gear, and that's about it. I wouldn't worry about many other things to craft. You don't want to be in the alchemy. You want to be here. Okay, and so right here you see all my bombs are topped up, all my potions are topped up, and I'm ready to go. Right, so I actually meditated in like a bad guy's headquarters, and nobody bothered me because I'd killed everybody there. All right, so let's go back to the character panel. So the game's going to tell you that you should slot, when you get a mutagen, you should slot like mutagens, and that's okay, but really you should only slot red mutagens. Now, red mutagens are hard to come by early in the game, but there's some drowners on Whale Graveyard in Skellige, and there's an Algul in north of Bennick, the town north of Bennick. If you kill the bandits, what is the town? There's an Algul. Toderas, there, right here. There's an Algul here in Toderas, and I bet you if I fast travel right there, I'd start fighting Algul. There's also some scurvers, I think, or that blow up. You have to be very careful that they don't blow up. So if you get them down to a third of health, you have to roll away from them and put up a Quen sign, because if they hit you without a Quen sign, you're dead. But so that's something you can do when you're kind of high level. But when you're kind of low level, you can get a red mutagen at the Ancient Oak right here. And by that place of power is a werewolf that you want to kill quickly because he regenerates. Use Igni or use the Dancing Star Bomb because he's very susceptible to fire. And of course, Cursed Oil. So you always want to oil up your blade as soon as you see a fight. You always want to consume, say, Thunderbolt or something, so that you fight better, or maybe Another good one for pre-fights is Tawny Owl, because that increases your stamina, so that'll allow you to spam your signs more. Okay, so we're going back to character, right? So slot the red mutagens when you can. When you have a ton of them, you can. When you have 3 small ones, you can make a normal, and when you have 9 small ones, you can make a greater, and 3 medium ones will make a greater, and you do that in your alchemy panel. So I'll just show you here. Right, so it says I can make a blue mutagen right now, so I'll make a blue mutagen. I'm saving some lessers because there's some decoctions I need, but I'm not using the green and blue mutagens, and so I'm actually quite eager to get to Beauclair where I can change the color of mutagens, but I can't do that until I get to Beauclair. But see, I've got a lesser red, and I'll slot that. It's better to slot a small one, 3 small ones, than 1 big one, right? So the other thing is you want to be focusing on the sword skills early on in the game. You want to put all your points into the sword skills. So you see the ones that are lighted up. So this one is lighted up, and this one is dark, right? This one, the dark one, I don't have a slot for it. So I want to slot Deadly Precision, which gives me a chance to kill super tough enemies with a small probability chance. But I'm not slotting Strength Training, which would be 5%, right? And it would also increase my adrenaline point acceleration. So that's kind of a downer that I'm not using Strength Training, but if it's not slotted, it's not there. And that's the other concept, is that you want to put your points into one skill as much as you can. So I would say stay with the reds, just go down this column, all the way down this column, until you get to the 4th level, and then there's some arguments for using these different ones at the bottom. But that would be what I would do, the basic, and don't worry about the blue skills or the green yet. So the green, I would not start doing that until kind of late in my teens, and maybe even 20th level beyond. And then the first one you would want to do would be Acquired Tolerance, and then you'd want to do the general skill, Metabolic Control, and those will allow you to consume more potions and decoctions. So early on, you probably shouldn't be consuming any decoctions unless it's a very specific situation, because the decoctions will max out your toxicity and not allow you to consume more stuff. So I'll just show you just real quick the toxicity effects from the inventory. So I got a ton of decoctions right now, and I don't use them, and I won't use them until I get deeper into the alchemy tree, but it's too early. So I'll try the Foglet decoction. I'm going to consume that, and now I'm going to consume the Cockatrice decoction, right? And I'm already at the edge right here. Let's see. I'm already at the edge. So I'll instead of Cockatrice, I'm going to consume a Swallow. And you see my bars got green and everything's going green, and my health is actually going down. So I'm going to eat some meat here to kind of recover, but really what I need to do is white honey. So that's why you don't want to use the decoctions, is because they use 70, and unless you've started increasing your max toxicity, it's going to be a problem. So I drink white honey, and that gets my toxicity down to nothing, and it gets rid of my stuff. And now I want to have full potions and stuff, so I'll just meditate. And you can see, and meditating will also get rid of your toxicity. Going back to the character. So as much as you can, it's probably better to focus on fast attack skills, right? So This is fast attack, this is strong attack, right? So fast, 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 but it takes like 10 points to unlock a level, so you have to invest in fast and strong at the same time, but maybe you're not slotting them all, or maybe you're putting, so that's the thing. And then this other skill, right? This is cat school techniques. This is the best general technique. It's going to increase your very focused on statistic. It's a very statistical game. And you want to keep on increasing your damage per second. Let's see if we can, and working on increasing your attack power, right? So here, this is like my damage per second with my silver sword is almost 900, right? It's because I've been putting a lot of points and slotting those techniques into my warrior skills or my sword skills, right? Now, how do you get all those points? Well, there's something like 6 places of power in White Orchard, 8 in Novigrad and Velen, and 9 in Skellige, 1 in Kaer Morhen, and I think 5 in Tucson, right? And those are all free technique points that you can put into your character tree, right? And so once you get to a region, you should prioritize not doing the main quests, but you should prioritize hitting the places of power, not doing the side quests. Go ahead, pick up, say you do things, just don't do them right away. So let's look at the map. Okay, here's the map. Here you go. Here's a place of power here in Novigrad. Totally undefended, right? Totally undefended. Allness, totally undefended place of power. I told you this one right here by the Ancient Oak is defended by that werewolf, but you want to kill the werewolf anyways. So there's a level 5 werewolf. I had to glitch or sneak in to Bald Mountain. You won't be able to do that until Act 2. But, you know, this one, I didn't have to fight anything, but there's a lot of bad things around there. This one, you have to do Magic Lamp. So that's a level 6 quest with Kiera. So you do Wandering in the Dark and then agree to Magic Lamp or you'll never get to hit that place of power. Let's see. There's at Lone Rook here on the edge. You could get here by boat. You could run here. You jump off the bridge into the water and then jump onto where the place of power is down below. And then leave. Get out of there. You don't need to fight things. You don't have to complete stuff. Leave and go to a lower enemy area. So that's what, you know, I think running is probably the most important skill in The Witcher 3. You need to develop that skill. So let's see if we can find any other. Oh yeah, there's Dragon Slayer Grotto. That also is pretty much undefended. There may be some wolves or something around there. You might come across some insectoids, I think, but you can just leave. You can run away from them too. So I did all that like when I was level 3, like level 3, level 4. And you probably should wait until you get the Griffin School armor, which is level 11. You definitely want to do the Griffin School quest and craft those armors. And then once I was at level 11, I was able to get, I think 7 more points. There were 2. There's one place of power like right here, you can't see it, and one place of power right here, you can't see it, that are associated with higher level quests. One is a fairly low level quest, but you have to get deep into Skellige. Quest line. So that's probably a good point to talk about quests, right? So quests. All right. So what quest should you do? Well, don't do the Death Skull quests, right? I did some Death Skull quests, but I had good reasons for doing that. So, for instance, the only Death Skull quest I really did was yeah, races swift as the western wind to get this guy's saddle. Right, he had the best saddle in Novigrad, Velen, White Orchard. Right. And I raced him, and there was no penalty if you lost the race, right? And luckily, I won the race, and I got the saddle. He also has great saddlebags and great. So this is a guy. These two guys right here, the Ophiris. There's the merchant, and then there's the Runewright. You want to meet these guys right away. I mean, even if you don't do their side, you probably don't want to do their side quests right away, but you want to meet them. You want to definitely that merchant. You want to buy his saddlebags, right? He's got the best saddlebags in Novigrad, White Orchard, way better than what you can buy anywhere else. And then you want to get his saddle, way better than what you can get from any other race. And he's not that hard a race, to be honest. If you want to buy a very good saddle, there's a where I bought the Nilfgaardian armor set. The Quartermaster in Crow's Perch has the Nilfgaardian armor set. He also has, he's kind of right here. He also has a saddle, which is a really good saddle that you can buy. And the Nilfgaardian armor set's level 10, so that's something you should buy when you get to level 10. And then the Runewright, so this is the merchant who you race and you also buy the saddles from. And then there's the Runewright, which it would be great if you could unlock him as fast as possible, but it's hard too. So I have a video on it, but most people are not going to do that very early because you need to kill some high-level arachnomorph spiders. So quests, we're going back to quests. So how do you kind of progress in the game, get XP, and not get overwhelmed, right? There's an overwhelming number of quests. Well, you should prioritize the main quests of your level, right? Below your level or slightly above. And you should prioritize the secondary quests at your level or slightly above, right? You don't want any quests to get below 5 levels, so 6 levels below you, because you'll get no XP for them. You get 1/15 XP, so you want to stay within it. So with White Orchard, you can do kind of almost everything. Probably not a bad idea, but you definitely want to hit all places of power before you complete the main quest in White Orchard. You want to get those 2 swords, the Viper Silver and Steel swords, crafted, and you probably want to craft the Warrior's Jacket before you leave White Orchard. And then at Velen, the quests are a little higher than you, and you'll find it a little harder. That's one good reason why you want to run and get those places of power, so you increase your attack power. You can get the Moonblade, so you can increase your attack power and do those quests a lot more easily. You also want to upgrade your alchemy items. To the extent there are common things you can buy from Tomira, buy them. But with the quests, you want to stay within close to your level. Focus on the secondary quests. I really don't. I pick up all the contracts and say I'm going to do them, and then I don't do them unless A, they're near my level, and B, I know they have a good reward, right? So I don't think I didn't do Woodland Beasts because it doesn't have a good reward. You normally want to do like I would do Deadly Delights to get the Succumbus mutagen. I would do Elusive Thief, not for the reward, not for the XP, but to get the mutagen for a Doppler, right? I do the Oxenford Drunk when I get closer to that level because I needed the vampire parts, right? So you do it kind of to what you want to kill, basically. So you get these mutagens that helps with your decoctions, which will help later on in the thing. But I wouldn't worry too much about these. You know, some of them give you a really good sword, right? Jenny of the Woods gives you a really good sword, but it's also a really hard quest. Um, Shrieker gave me, I think it was like cockatrice, right? It gave me a low-level cockatrice so I could craft some alchemy items. Jenny of the Woods allowed me to get the Night Wraith mutagen and also a nice sword, right? And Merry Widow got me the Grave Hag mutagen, right? And I think there was a nice sword with it too, but my swords were so good by then I didn't need it. But so those are the reasons, right? Devil by the Well, you would do that to get the Noon Wraith mutagen, right? So those are the reasons why you do contract quests, not for the money, maybe because you like the story, but probably for the mutagens or the rewards that you get at the end, which are not advertised, by the way. So you have to Google those things, right? Go to fandom and find out what the rewards actually are, or you can just play them. But if you're getting overwhelmed, is what I'm saying, is focus on the secondary quests, focus on the main quest, progressing the main quests and the secondary quests. In particular, if Geralt recognizes somebody, he has some history with somebody, you want to help that somebody out. You want to do what you can to help them out. So there's the big brothers in arms aspect of this whole thing, right? So I don't really have one of those secondary quests right here, but Kira is a very good one. He's got some history with her, so he wants to help her out, right? He's got some history with Lambert. He wants to help Lambert out, so you do the secondary quest, following the thread with Lambert, right? So those are the reasons why, those are other reasons why you do quests. This nobleman statuette quest I did was because it was easy. It was only like one dialogue, but most contract quests are actually quite involved. And they take a lot of time, and you can kind of get bogged down in them and get worried about them. And then there's Gwent. I don't do a lot of Gwent. I'm trying to do a little more, but and that's a whole nother thing in itself. And you don't need to do it. It's not necessary, not required. Just in general, the more Gwent cards you have, the better you'll be at Gwent. But it's an expensive habit, and then you're gonna have to farm cows for that. So unless you're making lots of money on Gwent, but probably you're gonna net lose money. Okay, so that's my take on how to not get bogged down, how to not quit on The Witcher 3. Just keep on going with those main quests. Level 32 is approximately where you're gonna finish the game. Also, don't be so focused on XP, right? You can get most of your XP just doing the main quest. As long as you're within 5 levels of the main quest, that is, you're not 6 levels or above over the main quest, you're going to get lots of XP from the main quest. And so there's a big disincentive to get a lot of XP in The Witcher 3. And that's not what really makes Geralt powerful. What makes Geralt powerful is getting him better swords, better armor, getting a lot of ability points from those places of power, putting on the oils, using the right potions when you need them, having lots of food. That's what makes Geralt powerful, not necessarily a higher level. Now, a higher level will allow you to craft higher level swords, but it's not automatic. You get to a higher level and Geralt's more powerful. You have to do things to make him more powerful, and he can play way above level or way below level based on the things that you do. Alright, so have fun. The Witcher 3 is a great journey. I'm Linus Wilson. We give you the tips and tricks to crush The Witcher 3.